Hello Tamers, Rusmero here, and today we're going to be opening the new starter decks 15 and 16, War Dragon of Courage, as well as Steel Wolf of Friendship. Now let's begin with the War Dragon. So first, as usual, we have our paper play sheet. One side features the new Agu Grey and Metal Grey, while the other side features the artwork of WarGreymon Ace. And now, this deck. Well, let's start by removing the index cards behind. So first, we kind of have like the tutorial guide in these 4 cards over here, as well as the plastic memory gauges in foil. We have a silverish grey one on the right featuring Agumon and a darker one on the left with WarGreymon Ace. Now into the deck itself, this is my first look at the updated card border. So for Digitamas or Digi-X, on the top left now we have this kind of like a shining egg symbol, and the color of the cards are now also represented by a 7-slot color wheel. You can see black on the left over here, making the cards more accessible to read for people who are colorblind. Of course, the Digi-Egg of this deck is Garurumon, who seems to be chilling on a cliff overlooking the city of the Metal Empire. You can kind of see Aegis Dramon docked at the harbor over there. Is inheritable on all turns once per turn. When the target of an attack is changed, this Digimon gains plus 1k DP until the end of the turn, feeding very well into Red-Black WarGreymon's blocker and raid mechanics. Here we have the new rare Agumon, who seems to be gaping in awe as he strolls through the Metal Empire city. So again, the updated card design carries forward, and we can see the 7-slot color wheel on both the play and evolution costs. Evolves for 0 from Garurumon. At the start of your main phase, gain 1 memory if your opponent has a Digimon in play, and inheritable. On all turns once per turn, when an attack target is changed, gain 1 memory. Furthering your plays when you raid during your turn, and restricting your opponents when you block during theirs. Clear Agumon, inheritable reboot, making it just a simple powered-up successor to the BT2 toy Agumon, which black players have been using this whole time. This new Solarmon is quite nice. On play, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's black, add it to your hand, otherwise trash it. I don't think Machine Draw Chaos Draw decks will have space, but I can see this level 3 being quite nice to play for them. A new 4-cost to play toy Agumon with blocker, and during your turn when it attacks a player, lose 2 memory. Which is quite nice because you can use its 4k DP to beat down the opponent's low-powered Digimon without any penalty. 4-cost Mechanorimon, inheritable reboot. A new Tankmon with jamming to get in those cheap early hits. And here we go, one of the highlights of this deck, the brand new SR Greymon. It evolves for 2 from a level 3 with Agumon in its name, so even though it's black, you can still run it quite decently in red builds. When checked in security, you may play 1 Agumon or 1 Tamer with Tai Kamiya in its name from your hand or trash at no cost. An all-around great effect that helps you push back against your opponents when they have the upper hand, or give you even more advantage. It has blocker, and on inheritable, on all turns once per turn when an attack target is changed, gain 1 memory. So combined with the new Agumon, if you play a combination of blocker and raid, you can potentially steal 2 memory from your opponents every single turn, whether it's yours or your opponent's. A new 6-cost Nightmon, on play, delete 1 opposing Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. Probably won't see much play unless we get dedicated new support for a Lord Nightmon deck that's maybe yellow-black in nature, but a deadly counter to the level 5 aces of the next set. Andromon, on evolve, de-digivolve 1/1 opposing Digimon, inheritable reboot. All around a pretty nice card. Now we have the new rare Metal Greymon that evolves for 3 from any level 4 with Greymon in its name. It has blocker, and on inheritable, security attack +1. So just another way for Grey decks to OTK their opponents. And it fits nicely being the only source of offensive boost in this primarily defensive deck, going very well with WarGreymon Ace that can attack twice for a total of 4 damage. And now, here's my first look at a physical Ace card, and it looks completely badass. I think some people have noted they don't really like the flashy style of the border around Ace cards, but I personally like it, especially the sort of digital vibe that just fits with the Digimon franchise on a whole, and it really helps to make these Ace Digimon stand out as like the trump cards of your deck, you know. I also kind of like how the flashiness fits the blast evolution mechanic, like suddenly when your opponent is attacking you, they think they're about to win, out of nowhere your partner on the field just suddenly evolves into their final form and counters your opponent, helping you to last 1 more turn. I feel the Ace border really helps to capture the kind of dynamic feel of that play. Anyways, evolves for 3 costs from any level 5 with Greymon in its name, from the hand, during the counter phase, Blast Evolution. It can evolve for free onto an applicable Digimon on your field. It has blocker, and since the block timing in the game comes after the counter timing, you can blast evolve into him and then stop your opponent's final attack. And on all turns once per turn, when a card is removed from either player's security, you may unsuspend this Digimon, allowing you to double attack during your turn and even potentially double block on the opponents if you have security to spare. And of course, Overflow, -4. 11k DP might not seem like much, especially if your opponent is about to kill you with an Oryuken, and the only move you can make is Blast Evolve into this guy, and even if you block, you're gonna be giving your opponent 4 memory when this WarGreymon is ultimately cut down. But of course, the Greymon deck has plenty of inheritables that can add to WarGreymon Ace's power during the opponent's turn, and we also have a new Tamer that can help out with that as well, which we'll be seeing shortly. Now the main level 6 that comes with this deck, High Andromon. I call it the main because I don't think we should be playing Aces as our mains because of Overflow. It has Blocker, and on Evolve, delete one opposing Digimon with a play cost of 8 or less. Again, it's a bit of a shame that this High Andromon seems to be mainly made just to be like the filler secondary level 6 for this starter deck. But still, I think the on-evolve effect is worth crediting. I mean, essentially it's saying you can blow up your opponent's level 5 stack as you go into this guy as well. It's also very nice of Bandai to make the limit play cost 8 instead of 7, because at 8, you can then destroy some pesky level 5s, especially like the level 5 X Digimon. Alright, here we go, the new Tai from the original Digimon Adventure. He's a memory setter, and on all turns when an attack target is changed, you may suspend this Tamer to draw 1 card, and give one of your Digimon plus 2k DP until the end of the turn. So with this guy, your WarGreymon Ace will become a 13k. Well, still not enough to stop Oryuken, but imagine having a few on the board. Next, we have the option card Advance of Courage. While you have a Tamer of Tai Kamiya and its name in play, you can use this card ignoring color requirements. On main, unsuspend one of your Digimon. Then until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name is unaffected by your opponent's Digimon effects. On security, activate main. So offensively, if you can eke out 4 memory, this card basically gives you an additional attack to go for game. If you don't have 4 memory during your opponent's turn, it helps you to maintain your board presence even during the opponent's, for example, protecting your level 5 Metal Grey, so that if your opponent chooses to attack, you're gonna get blasted. Finally, the option card Trident Arm. I really like this one. On main, de-Digivolve 3 one opposing Digimon, then until your opponent's turn ends, give one opposing Digimon this effect. At the start of your main phase, attack with this Digimon. So because of the new counter Blast Evolution shenanigans, players might be a bit more reluctant to attack in certain situations, but you don't have to worry about that. Just play this card and make them attack for you. I guess in general, I just like forcing the opponent to attack. And on security, de-Digivolve 3 one opposing Digimon, and that should be the end of the WarDragon of Courage starter deck. Time for the Steel Wolf. Okay, this play sheet in different shades of purple straight up looks so much better than the Greymon one, but I mean that one was like, what? From grey to black? And on the other side, MetalGarurumon Ace looking super clean as well, but I guess his artwork is just more clean in general because it doesn't have those like claw effects that WarGreymon has. Now removing the index cards, you have these 4, and the Gabumon one is like darker, deeper purple, and then the MetalGarurumon's one's like a bit violet. Okay, so new purple Tsunomon, who looks like he could be chilling out at the back of a convenience store. Inheritable on attack, if your hand is 6 or less, draw 1 card. Of course, defeat all of the discards you'll be making. Virus Alakmon, on play, draw 1 card, then trash 1 card in your hand. Been there, done that. And now, the new Gabumon. I think this might be my favorite Gabumon art so far. It's just so good. Like, first it features a wet Tsunomon in the corner, which is already amazing. And did you guys notice like the shadow of Garurumon right against the full moon reflected in like the puddle of purplish water right there at his feet? It's like so good. It has both his level 2, level 3, and level 4 with such an awesome aesthetic balance in a single card. Evolves for 0 from Tsunomon at the start of your main phase. Gain 1 memory if your opponent has a Digimon in play. Inheritable on attack once per turn, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand, again to get those discards. Tapirmon, inheritable Retaliation, simple but diddly. But man, I gotta say, I'm really enjoying the art in this purple starter deck more than the black one. Like for the black one, the new Toy Agumon broken into pieces was great for the level 3s, but Clear Agumon and Solarmon were kinda like just eh. And even in this new 4-course Gotsumon who's like kind of working his part-time job at a haunted house, there's like Demi-Meramon and Mokumon peeking in from the background, which is just adorable. It has Retaliation, but during your turn when it attacks an opposing Digimon, you lose 2 memory. So this guy is kind of like a foil to the Toy Agumon from the black deck. Moving on to level 4s, we have a Bakemon with Blocker. I kind of wish one day we might get something that resembles a Bakemon deck of any kind, just cause he's just such a nostalgic Digimon for me. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone remembers at least this guy, right? Is the theme of this deck that they're all working together to operate some haunted house or something? Cause I swear, it's all like kind of piecing together in my head right now as I look at the artworks in real life. Okay, well, Meramon clearly didn't want to help out and decided to go camping instead with Gatomon and Gazimon, I guess. On deletes, gain 1 memory. Now we have the new SR Garurumon, who is very similar to the SR Grey. Evolves from 2 from any level 3 with Gabumon in its name. When checked from security, you may play 1 Gabumon or 1 Tamer with Matt Ishida in its name from your hand or trash at no cost. On evolve, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand, and on inheritable, on attack once per turn, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand again. So you are going to be doing a lot of that. A new 6-cost Pumpkinmon, which is quite nice. On play, you may play 1 level 3 purple Digimon from your trash at no cost, and you are allowed to use its on-play effects. Yes, we have come a long way since the days of like BT1, BT2. Mammothmon with Blocker and inheritable Retaliation, and the new WarGreymon evolves for 3 from any level 4 with Garurumon in its name. On attack, once per turn by trashing 1 card in your hand, unsuspend this Digimon, and with 8k DP, it has a pretty good chance of surviving its consecutive attacks. I mean, I can already imagine mixing this purple line with the blue MetalGarurumon X deck. An inheritable on attack once per turn by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete 1 opposing level 4 or lower Digimon. I think this could be pretty strong in the BT14 Ace meta, where there are generic level 5 aces for red, blue, green, and yellow floating around. You never know when the opponent could be running them in your deck, but this guy will just kill your opponent's level 4 and they'll lose their target's ace for you. Now here we go, the new MetalGarurumon Ace. I think the WarGreymon Ace artwork was a lot more impactful and generally cool with all the special effects and stuff. But this one honestly doesn't lose out, it just has a different flavor and appeal. It's just super clean, super sleek. You get such a good view of MetalGarurumon in such a cool pose. And I mean, it's awesome that he's dueling against Black MetalGarurumon in the same artwork as well. So yeah, it evolves for 3 from any level 5 with Garurumon in its name from the hand, counter, blast, evolution. On evolve, by trashing up to 3 cards from your hand, gain 1 memory for each card trash, so this is how this card is used defensively during counters. Your opponent needs 2 more attacks to finish you off. Your memory is 2 or lower. They go for their first attack. You blast evolve, you steal 3 memory, and their turn is over before they can make the last one. And on attack once per turn by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete 1 opposing Digimon with the lowest level. And I mean, if they have only 1 Digimon on the field, if it's a level 7, that's relatively the lowest. So very fitting for purple. I think this is a potentially very nasty card to be played against. On evolve, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. And on all turns, once per turn, when a card in your hand is trashed by your own effects, you may play 1 level 4 or lower purple Digimon from your trash at no cost. Very nice revival mechanics, which I feel makes this boss at least a lot more flavorful compared to the High Andromon in the black starter deck. And I mean, this guy is literally a resurrected skeleton mammoth, right? The ability to revive smaller minions from the graveyard just kind of fits him so well lore-wise too. The new purple Met, a memory setter, and on all turns when a card in your hand is trashed by your own effect, you may suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory, of course. The anime screenshot option, Lamentation of Friendship, you may use this card ignoring color requirements while you have a Tamer with Matt Ishida in its name in play. On main, return 1 Digimon card from your trash to your hand. Then, until your opponent's turn ends, 1 of your Digimon with Garurumon in its name gains this effect. On deletes, play this card at no cost. And some Japanese players on Twitter have already been saying, why not play this on Ancient Garuru? On security, activate main. Finally, we have the 4-cost Baldi Blow. On main, delete 1 opposing level 5 or lower Digimon. On security, activate main. Okay, so that'll be all for my opening of these 2 starter decks. The cards honestly look great, and opening them up physically has really hyped me up to test them out and try out the new counter, blast, evolution, ace mechanics, all that fun stuff. And of course, showcase those mechanics to you guys in videos as well. And with that, hope to see you guys in the next Digimon video.